Hey, how is everybody doing tonight? This is, as we like to call it, Friday Night Live. Obviously, it's not Friday tonight. I will let my co-host get into the reason while we're going Thursday here in a little bit. But before we do that, I would always like to introduce ourselves. My name is Slim. I am joined as always by my dog, my co-host, my boy, JT. JT, how are you feeling going into this weekend?
It was a tough weekend. It was a tough weekend for both of us. I hadn't seen the Cyclones lose in person in what felt like a long time, but it was a demoralizing weekend. But we're gonna pick ourselves up off the linoleum floor and, and get back to it on Saturday.
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't do this,
exactly
man.
what it is.
Yeah,
After a bad drinking night on a Saturday last week, the clones are gonna pick themselves up off the floor. Um, I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell them what I'm gonna be doing this weekend, and then we
well,
can move from there.
it's a big weekend for my friends in Omaha here. We've got a big show coming up on Friday. I think we're going to bring in Spencer here from Hybrid Promotions
Yes.
to talk about a show that they've got going on tomorrow down in the ONE. And are we going to throw it? Yeah, we'll throw it to Spencer as to what we got going on tomorrow. What you guys got going on tomorrow?
Well, what's up, guys? I'm Spencer from Hybrid Promotions, and we have a Halloween show tomorrow at the Beach House. It is called Nightmare at the Beach. Doors will be at 7. Show starts at 8. It is $10 to get in. Pre-sale, you have until around 5 or 6 p.m. tomorrow night to get your pre-sale tickets. Otherwise, it's going to be 15 at the door.
Hey, Spencer, you better let them know if you meet me in the back alley, you could get them for free.
Maybe.
Maybe. It depends on the
Right.
trick you turn.
Right.
But we
Exactly.
might have some
But you
backdoor.
have
We
to
might
offer
have
it.
some backdoor tickets.
Right. As always, it's brought to you by Hybrid Promotions and Self-Made the Label. Our brother Victor Young Bakes, who is not here tonight, but we will have performances by local artists, including Be Positive, Brody One, Crooks, Saban St. Cloud, SJ23, Ash from the
Yes, sir.
Past, Mark Patrick, Justin Pickett, and
Hey, let him know who's closing out the show real quick.
Justin Pickett will be closing out
Give
the
him
show.
some fucking flowers and some
Right.
respect.
He's one of the best singers in Omaha, in my opinion. So it'll be a good way to end the show. And then, as always, we have special guests, and they will be Loud Pack Entertainment
Yes,
for this
sir.
show. They are a group of guys from Lincoln/Omaha. I think it's four guys. They're going to come and tear the place down. I think they're bringing some special effects to their performance, so it'll be pretty cool to watch.
Hey, why
It's an
don't you?
all-ages show.
I
as
don't mean to
well.
cut you off, but why don't you go ahead and highlight the
Ooh, I
cash
already know what you're gonna say.
prize?
Right. It is a costume contest. It is a costume party.
Yes.
So the best dressed will win $50 cash prize at the end of the night, coming from myself. So I'm gonna.
I would like to be the first person to say I'm sorry to anyone that enters this contest. I hope second place wears you well because you're for sure gonna lose to me tomorrow night. So
Yeah, there should be a lot of interesting. I've heard a lot of interesting costumes so far, so it should be eventful.
yeah,
We still
I
got
don't
to
want
figure out how
to.
we're gonna vote for that. So we're gonna hash that out here pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't want to give mine away, but I just want to let everyone know that thinks they're gonna win $50. Better luck next year.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think you should be allowed to win. You should be disqualified.
Yeah,
Oh,
if
you
you
know what?
happen to
I was
win,
actually thinking about that. But if I
I don't think anyone from our team is going to be able to win, sadly.
well,
But
if I do win, you better hope you're the most luckiest person in the crowd because I will. That's whoever I'm gonna give my vote to. So
yeah, as always, it's going to be a fun time. we hope to see everyone there, man. I mean, it's going to be a good family night. It's going to be good vibes. So I can't wait, man.
We're passing out candy, right? We got
I
candy
think I
involved.
do have a bag of candy I will bring. Yes. It's supposed to be for trick or treaters, but I live in an apartment, so no one's gonna come to my door for fucking candy.
I mean, God, I hope they do. They have the
They
door
didn't last
code.
year, so
They have the door code already, so I'd be a little suspicious.
yeah, right. No, but yeah, that's all I have for show promo wise. I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Spence, you want to hang out for the night, or are you ready to?
I
You
have prior obligations, kids. You know, I got
No
one peeking out
worries.
the window
No
right here,
worries.
looking at me right now. So.
I
But
just
if
had
I
to
do have
ask.
time in like 20, 30 minutes, I'll just stay backstage, and if I have time, I'll text you and you can just pull me back on.
Yep, we'll pull
Roger
you back
that.
up for your weekend picks, so we know who to fade.
All right. You sound good. Okay.
All right,
Stay
brother.
blessed, brother.
Yeah,
Much
stay
Bye,
safe.
son.
much love. Once again, that is the Nightmare at the Beach House, the costume party this year. A bunch of local acts, a bunch of good music going to be going on. Bring your kids. We're going to give out some candy, and none of these people passing out candy will be snatching children that night. So you don't have to worry about some weird shit going on.
Right. All ages,
Um,
friendly environment. We'll be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys have fun talking about sports.
All right,
I'll see
brother.
you guys
Hey,
in a bit.
before you go, I need a 3-pick hit from you real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Iowa State, Arizona State, game 1, Nebraska versus who do they play? JT, can you help me out here real quick?
USC, right?
USC, yes, and Iowa, Penn State. Give me
I'm gonna
3
go-
winners.
Nope. Iowa does not play Penn State.
Oh, they're on a bye this week. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so Iowa, Penn State next week.
Okay.
Nope.
So
Iowa already played Penn State. They played them last week. Iowa
that's
plays
right, they
Oregon next
won.
week.
Oregon. Thank you.
Okay, well, I first pick. You guys have been down and about. I think you're gonna pop back and win. So Iowa State. Second game, I gotta go with my Skurs. You know, even though it's always terrifying, but it is what it is.
Your boy got a fat new contract extension. He should be
Right.
Yeah,
there
you
you
did.
go.
Hey, that's good for
And
the.
I heard we're gonna be rocking the all black uniform. So we'll see
There
how
you
that
go.
looks.
Hey, JT, they're going to be rocking the all Iowa States.
Yeah, we don't mean to offend any Hawkeye fans out there. I know
Right.
the Iowa fans like permission before anyone goes to the all black. but
Yeah, hey, yeah, Spence, did you guys
the
clear
express
this?
written consent of the Iowa
Yeah,
Hawkeyes.
did you guys get
We did not tap
clearance?
in. We did not.
Well, I hate to tell you, but you're going to have a lawsuit coming because apparently Iowa is the only one that can wear black uniforms.
We
in
should
the
just show up,
Midwest.
play them in our. We should wear all black to play them in our last game.
You should. That'd be
Hey,
nice.
keep in
Let's start a
touch.
petition.
We'll see what happens.
Right. Bet. And for the last one, you said Oregon State and who?
Oh,
Iowa.
Oregon, and
Iowa.
Iowa. Keeping in
Oregon
mind that
and
Oregon is
Iowa.
the
That's
number
next
6
week.
ranked
That's
team in the
next
nation.
week. But we
It's
went
gonna-
we went the hybrid
gonna-
pick now.
It's gonna be Oregon for sure.
Do you have a
I
score?
agree all around.
Do you have a score for
I have a
that?
score. I'm gonna go. 56 to 30, 31.
All right. There you go.
Shootout.
You heard it here first. Hybrid is the
All right.
first person to put a number
Hey,
on the
I've been
board.
spot on with all my picks so far, so just be careful, man.
I
bet.
can't fight that, JT. I kind of want to that'll bring me into
I'm right there
a
with it.
different that'll bring me into a different segment later. I think we should get into. But for now, Hybrid Promotions. Shout out to you again. I don't think anyone gives you the credit you deserve for what you've done for the city. We appreciate you, and
Appreciate that.
whether it be a nice enough show, whether it be a hybrid self-made show, whether it be just a show in general that nobody else wants to do anything with a front-facing, a front-facing job.
Right.
We appreciate you for what you do and the way you're able to represent the small guys in the
Right.
group. So I just want to give you your flowers real quick before we cut you loose.
Much love.
I appreciate you coming on and giving us a little bit of your time to
Yes, sir.
give us your horrible picks.
Yeah, right.
We'll definitely revisit and clip this here in a couple of weeks.
See what
But
happens.
but much love, brother, and I will see you tomorrow night.
Okay, see you, boys. You guys have a good rest of the pod.
So yeah.
Absolutely. All right, JT.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and lead us to where you want the horse to drink water tonight.
Well, let's get the history out of the way. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way. It's kind of what we were talking about at the top of the show.
Yes.
Obviously a very disappointing Saturday evening in Ames, Iowa last Saturday.
Horrible.
Against BYU. And it sucks because like Iowa State came out looking pretty damn good.
Great.
I mean, they scored on that first play.
I don't mean to cut you off, but what was the energy in the Trice after that 80-yard touchdown pass? Because I can tell you what it looked like on TV. I called that pass 4 pump fakes before he actually threw the ball where he was going to go with it. And as soon as he let it go, you could see Eskilsson wide open. And you just, at least to me, looking at it from a TV standpoint, it looked like it was all goes. Like,
it was absolutely insane. The top blew off. I was high-fiving people I've never high-fived before that don't even get that close.
Absolutely.
It was nuts. So but I guess it was almost kind of to be expected. I mean, if there's anything where Taylor Mauser has kind of built a little bit of a reputation for himself, is that he likes to do that. He likes to take the top off right at the top of the game, where most teams 1st and 10 on your 35-yard line, you're just handing it to the running back. But no, Taylor Mauser, send Brett Eskilsson, send Jalen Knoll, whoever it is. Because it's not the first time that's happened. It's not the second time that's happened. It's probably not even the third time that's happened.
It might be the fifth. It might be the 5th or 6th. And I'm glad you brought Eskilsson up by name. I think this is the second time in 7 games this year that Eskilsson has been targeted deep down the field on the first play of the game. I think the other one would be South Dakota State.
They hit South Dakota, but yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if he scored on that one, but it was a
no. He did not. He was within inside
the 10. That's the nice part about this game. It was nice to see that he was able to house that one. But yeah, I mean, things were looking good. I mean, the vibes were high, and it sucks because it felt like that Iowa State was one possession away from almost kind of
closing the game out.
And where they really could have, as Chris Williams likes to say, put on the anaconda and just kind of shut things down and give the ball to Carson Hansen and let John Haycock do his thing on the other side of the ball. But inexplicably, Rocco Beck threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life, high school, college, pros, where I mean, it was, we were going back and forth. We were texting back and forth in the moment. And you were, because I hadn't seen a replay at the time, and you were talking about how there was a miscommunication. And
yes,
I don't doubt that there was a miscommunication, but I don't know, like, even if Chase Sowell was supposed to come back on that route, that damn linebacker is just sitting right there. I mean, I posted a screenshot on my Twitter of the moment where it was clear that Rocco decided to throw the ball and where the receiver was, where the ball was going to go, where the linebacker was. I just don't know what he was looking at. He was throwing right to the guy. if Sewell was coming back on a curl route, he still would have picked it off.
Yeah,
There's nothing
and that's the
that
thing
changes.
is, so I don't mean to cut you off, but you know,
Very good.
like that was kind of my defense for him at that point was, oh, they ran the wrong route. You know, you would expect it to be this route. Well, you've played Madden just as long as I've played Madden, and then NCAA football just as long as I've played it. You know for a fact that you cannot make that pass ever.
Can't.
You're gonna maybe complete that pass 2 out of 10 times and maybe throw a pick 7 out of 10 times. Now, I do think there was a miscommunication on what the audible might have been. Granted, we all have the ability to go back and look at the tape and say, well, no shit, that pass wasn't there. But if you go back and look at that same tape, if Beck throws that ball 10 yards over that corner, that literally just eats that football like a Roomba, it's a touchdown. And there is not even anyone anywhere close to him. Speaking about Sewell. So yeah, I don't know. You could look at that as like a small microcosm for the day. I know for a fact without being there that changed the entire vibe in the stadium as soon as that pick was thrown. And you went from potentially going up. I think the score at that time was 17-7.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. And
you're driving down to go up 24-7. If you go up 24-7 against BYU, shout out to two guys, Williams and Hassel. I think Williams has read this 100% right. I think you probably win 56-24 or something like that. I think the brakes just come off the bus at that point, and you just blow them up. But you gave them a chance, and then obviously you get a little tight on offense, and it leads to one mistake or another mistake, and that just eventually builds up over time, and then it puts you in the position in the fourth quarter where you can't afford any mistakes, and you just happen to go back-to-back mistakes at the worst time. And instead of, having a chance to win the game late, you're down 41-27 before you can even blink an eye.
Yeah, because, I mean, we saw it coming a mile away, and we kind of talked about it, how you kind of saw it coming, because I think it was right after that, because it sucked, because I think there was this right before that, I think there was this big chunk play to Bramer where, and then
yes,
that was going crazy.
That was let me see if I get my hand in.
Catch.
Yeah, no, that was the one hand catch that has been kind of
that's right.
That was the tight end kind of circus play for the year, and you're thinking, all right, we're back on.
And we've already forgotten about it.
It was I think it was literally the next throw.
Yes, it was literally the next play.
And
because I remember I was still standing up from the last play when it happened, and then I just went full surrender.
And then and that's almost.
And then of course BYU comes back and scores, and then we tell each other we gave them the 2-for-1 because they scored at the end of the half, and then BYU gets the ball. And the rest then
you kind of flubbed your 2-minute offense. I will never convict anybody for poor under 45-second minute offense, because so you look at it, you're running a 2-minute offense, but you're running it super condensed. And the way you kind of look at it is we don't need to score, but we kind of really need to score. So if you don't score, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. 45 seconds, 3 timeouts, the way that you went into the half, I feel like you should have been fighting for your life for 3 points. And they might have been fighting for their life for 3 points, but they just happened to give up a sack. I think it was second down that
Mhm.
you took yourself from, 1st and 10 with the clock stopped to 2nd and 19 with 29 seconds to go. And, granted, if we're playing college football on the supercomputer, we're gonna go for it. But you, these guys are not supercomputers. They are human beings. So you can't.
Yeah, and I kind of I struggle with that because like I want him to score too, but it's just like Matt Campbell's never been that guy to
No,
go for
he
that.
never has.
And I certainly empathize with the fact of just needing to get into the locker room.
Yes.
And I think that we were spoiled a little bit because obviously we saw them do it very successfully against Arkansas State. That really kind of came out of nowhere. Where
Yeah, well,
I think they had
say that
less time. They
opponent
had like
again.
yeah, Arkansas State. I think they had like 20 or 30 seconds left, and they managed to score a touchdown. And I think that's an anomaly. I think otherwise it's just not who Matt Campbell is. Your team's demoralized, and yeah, I guess I don't remember the specifics of that last drive. I think you're right. There was a sack at some point. So I don't know. Of all the things that went wrong for Iowa State that game,
It
I
was
don't put too
everything.
much into that. I don't put too much into that last possession in the second half, but it certainly didn't help.
I don't think you put too much into it. I just think it certainly sucks and it kicks you in the balls, especially if you're in the stadium and you're rocking. And that's kind of the crazy thing about Ames is you could be rocking 1 second and then not even 5 minutes of game time later, like you could hear a pin drop in the
Yep.
place. It's
Yep.
been that way for years with basketball and football. I think that's part of the reason why we die so hard for them. One could argue that's the reason that we have this podcast right now. Because if I didn't feel like nobody gave a fuck about what we're talking about, we wouldn't be doing this. So,
Yeah.
um,
So I don't know. I mean, I think we've talked a lot about the first half, and obviously the wheels came off in the second half. Beck had 2 additional interceptions in the second half. None of them were really
yeah,
his
those
fault. I
were
mean, the
not
one was
great
more on
either.
Burkle. He just, I mean, it was almost more a catch and fumble. I realized based on the rule, I realized why it's technically an interception, but
Yeah.
that's Burkle's fault on that pick
Well,
six, and then
it kind
the
of comes
last one
back
was on a fourth down, I think.
it comes back to the Bramer thing. Your tight ends are supposed to be your best, your strongest skill position. And now at this point, at least in a Rocco standpoint, like 2 of your worst interceptions have come from tight end miscues or tight end drops or tight end not being able to hang on to the ball. Look at Bramer. Who was that? Arizona State,
Oh yeah,
Arkansas
that's right.
State. He
Yeah, he did have that.
he
Yeah.
popped that ball up to get picked. Burkle kind of I don't know. It could go a bunch of ways. I'm not trying to sit here and call anyone to blame. Full disclosure, this is a 100% pro bias Iowa State podcast. We're obviously going to go through a bunch of sports, but we will always try to be objective with our coverage of the clones. And I guess that kind of spills into what you seen a couple of weeks ago after the Colorado game. And JT, I don't know about you, but C-Dub continuously calling the Buffs just a shitty team and they suck. I don't know. To me that kind of hits a little harder than be like, they just kind of lost a bad game.
Yeah, that Colorado game was still probably the toughest one. You really had no business losing that game, and
Maybe in the
really
last 4
the
years.
the officiating was tough as well. Um, that's really as worse as they've seen it. So, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we can kind of step off that and look forward to Saturday, where I think Iowa State has a really good opportunity this Saturday, playing against it's a rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game
Yes.
against Arizona State. Both teams are kind of in very similar situations. They're pretty well reeling. I think they might have the same record. I don't remember.
Yes. What did you call it? What did you call it? I'm gonna give you an opportunity to call it what you
Oh God,
texted me.
oh shit, what did I call it?
What did you call it?
Um,
I got it.
oh
I got it in my
man.
head.
Oh, you know, I don't remember what I'm sure it was something bowl.
So
Um,
it's coined by JT. It is the Down Bad Bowl.
oh, the down bad bowl, yeah.
It seems like a good time to pull this up. This is the Big 12 championship rematch game from last year, where if you didn't know, I got to watch Iowa State get abused by Mr. Broken Ankle for the New York Giants, Cam Scatterboo. Great atmosphere, great stadium, horrible outcome for the Clones. I that's about the worst. That's about the worst thing I can say about it. Arizona State fans, they're good people. They are actually a really fun group. I know a guy. His name is Rusty. Shout out Russ. He has no idea that I'm doing this, but I met him down at a place called Texas Live. Great atmosphere down there. It's right between Jerry's World and where the Texas Rangers play baseball. They have like a 1,000,000-inch TV or whatever you want to call it, but it's just kind of like a big hangout spot. It was fantastic. Arizona State fans, there ain't no hate in my heart for them. They're just like us. They're honestly just like us. Like they don't expect like any crazy results. They just hope to have a good season. They don't want to be shit. And yeah, they were good people to be around. I would have had no problem losing to anybody outside of them.
Yeah,
So
certainly Saturday's game is not the Big 12 championship game. Both teams are in a pretty tough spot, and
5-3.
honestly, I usually don't like to talk this absolutely about Iowa State, but like they need a win here, and I think they're going to get a win
Yes.
here. I think they have to win here.
Yes.
And that's based on just the sole fact that Arizona State's star quarterback is out.
It's
Sam Levitt,
gone.
I think his
Sam
name is.
Levitt. And do you
Yeah.
even believe in the Sam Levitt hype? I
I
guess.
mean,
Look,
I thought he looked pretty good last year. So I certainly I certainly wasn't like a non-believer, but I thought he was a pretty solid quarterback.
well, listen, you can't tell me you didn't watch more than 2 games from Sam Levitt, and that wasn't the game against Texas and the game against Iowa State. I
Yeah.
honestly did not know who the fuck this guy was. The only thing I knew going into that game was they had Scatterboo. And even
Mhm.
then, you didn't really know who he was. I
Right, that
mean,
was kind of his coming out game, that Big 12 championship game.
yeah, because he had kind of like some Brees Hall moments. For those that aren't Big 12 fans, I'm sure we don't have that big of a reach, but just in case that this reaches outside of our pod, Scatterboo didn't really have a game outside of like a David Montgomery for Iowa State back when they went 9-3, or even when they went 7-5. And you're going to get a lot of comparisons right now to them being 7-5 and 21 and what they're looking at right now, I would encourage anyone that roots for Iowa State to just pump the fucking brakes and, rather than, okay, so how about this? Let's say they lose every game for the rest of the year and they go 5-7.
Yikes.
How many times, if you're the average 30-year-old listener, how many times has Iowa State gone better than 5-7 in our 30 years? I'm 31, so I guess I will preface it as, how many times have they gone better than 5-7 in 31 years? I'll bet you it's less than 50%.
I was thinking about 50-50, yeah. Maybe a little 60%.
Now, this is gonna destroy my argument, but I'm gonna have to see it through. In the last 5 years, how many times have they gone 5-7?
0.
I think they went 3-9.
Was there one? Was there?
That was Beck's. That was the betting scandal year. They went
3-9 that year.
Yes, they went 3-9 or 4-8. I think that was the year they beat Iowa. I think that was the year.
Yeah, they went 4-8. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think they beat Deckers, or Deckers beat Spencer, the all-star Spencer Petras in Ames.
Yeah,
I think they won 10-7.
The 99-yard drive.
Dude. Yeah. Oh, that was that year. Yeah, I'll slip my wrist. I'll slip my wrist before I have to watch that.
I don't know how I really purged that. I don't know how I've kind of forgotten about that, because I would have been there. I would have seen all the games. I guess
JD,
I'm glad I don't really remember it.
You do realize that Iowa State is 3-1 in the last 4 years against Iowa, right?
I do realize that.
Hey, so
It's
Iowa.
State.
Hey. Dead ass. But I digress. Nonetheless, do you want me to go ahead and tell everyone why we're doing a Thursday night show? I feel like it'd probably be better if I tell the people.
I mean, I think we already went over it at the beginning, but if you want to reiterate, sure.
Did we?
Yeah, because we brought in Spencer.
Did we? Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So then, all right. So why don't you let the people know what's going on next weekend? This has been confirmed, by the way, by my job. So it's happening.
Okay. So next week we're gonna have our regularly scheduled show on Friday.
Yes.
But then on Monday we're gonna be coming live on location. I believe you decided you want to keep the exact location under wraps.
Yes.
So that'll be something to look forward to for. It's not this next month, not this upcoming Monday, but a week from Monday, November 10th.
What is that? They play
Monday
on the 10th. The 10th.
Yeah.
They play on the 10th.
Yeah.
Why don't you let them know who's playing and who we're gonna see?
Okay, I think you've kind of blown the secret, so we're just gonna go all the way with this.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Me and Josh are gonna be heading up to luxurious Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yes, sir.
To check out the Iowa State Cyclones men's basketball team as they play the Mississippi State
Bulldogs.
Are they the Bulldogs? I think they are the Bulldogs. The Mississippi State Bulldogs at the historic Sanford Pentagon. So we're looking forward to that. It'll actually be my second trip in a week to Sioux Falls. I'm actually this weekend. Drake is playing.
This is breaking news. This is breaking news for Slim. I didn't know this.
Yeah, Drake's playing at the Sanford Pentagon this upcoming Monday. So I'm going up there with my dad, and I'll kind of get a test run to see what the
yes,
what
I was about to say like. You'll get
we'll see how it goes.
You'll get a dry run of the stadium seating, because it definitely does look very, very small when you go and try and select tickets. Not that that's a bad thing, but
Mhm.
when you see 14,000 seats and then you go to click on the link to look at the tickets, you're like, there ain't no fucking way you're going to put 14,000 people in this bitch. But I
Yeah.
guess I digress on that.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We're gonna stay the night. For those that are familiar, there's a pretty nice looking hotel, casino, golf looking resort called Grand Falls over there in Larchwood, Iowa. I'm really looking forward to that. Looks like a pretty nice place. So might do a quick hitter on the road, maybe do another quick show from the hotel or from the casino or something like that. We'll kind of play that by ear. So we're looking forward to that. Hitting the road to follow the Cyclones. In what should be
Yes,
a
sir.
fun year. Should be a fun year.
I'm sure you've seen all of the breaking news I've seen coming out of the Northwestern game. I guess I was there for the Creighton game. I don't know if I would necessarily call that a scrimmage. They kind of seemed like they were overmatched from the jump, and you kind of wonder if that kind of plays into TJ's hands a little bit. But they looked every sort of a contender against Northwestern, and granted, once again, it's a preseason game or an exhibition, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was a game that doesn't count, but they looked. I guess I'm curious to what you think, how they looked on Sunday as compared to what you read in the box score from the week before.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I thought that it seemed like that they were a lot better. At least in the second half, they kind of started to open up a little bit. In the first half, or at least the first part of the first half, they weren't all that impressive. But I was relieved to see them come back and win a game against a Power Five team. And I guess the important thing to keep in mind is that they were still without Tame and Lipsey. So anytime you can
Yes.
beat an opponent like that without your QB1. I think that's a pretty big deal. So I think that's the one thing that'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Iowa State's first game is also this Monday against Fairleigh Dickinson. I believe John Rothstein had said that Taman Lipsey is scheduled to be good to go for that game. I don't exactly know how it's going to work yet, where if Lipsey's going to start or if he'll be on some sort of a pitch count. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Where maybe hopefully he's good to go a week after against Mississippi State. So it's college I feel like it's kind of sneaking up on us.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
college basketball season, baby. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, it really is. Hitting real quick on the Lipsey injury. I think you and I both read this 100% right from the jump 4 weeks ago. I know you and I talked back and forth, and I said I think he'll play in the first game of the year on limited minutes, a pitch count. The second game he'll probably play the same limited minutes, and I think that you really want to see him come out full party against, your first, what do they call them now? They're not, it can't be just a power four in basketball. There's got to be like a 5 or a 6, right?
Yeah, it's always +1 for basketball, so I guess
So it'd be a
it's down
power
to
5. Who is that? The
it's
AC?
Power
Oh, the Big
5.
East.
The
The
Big
Big
East,
East.
the Big East.
There you go.
Yeah, so
And then maybe even
so
the
it used to be Power
AAC.
5 and Power 6. Now it's Power 4 and Power 5.
Whatever, dude. Take your
But
money.
the
Well,
Americans are
hey,
Power 5.
take your money. We'll take just give us $100,000 and we'll split it between the two of us, and we'll show you for whatever you want. This is an ad brought to you by the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, the ACC. What do they call it? The Pac 15,000 over there out west,
Yeah,
and
they're starting back up.
the Big East. So give us your money, and I might tattoo your brand on my body, depending on how much money you give us.
I don't know what
So
you're talking about. I don't really know what you're talking about anymore, but
hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep it on the basketball thing here. I'm gonna pull this up for us. I know it says visiting. but what are your thoughts on my automatically new favorite Cyclone name, Jackson Kiss?
Yeah, I saw that they had a. I don't think that's who that's a picture of. Just so you know, but
I'm almost positive that's who this is. Let me double check through some back
I
channels.
don't think it is.
Um,
But
anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, while he
I don't think
looks
that.
up,
I don't
yeah,
think that's who this
that's what I just
picture
told you, dude. That's not Jackson Kiss. So, but yeah, it's a TJ Otzelberger got a big commitment over the weekend. Jackson Kiss committed to the Cyclones. He's the third commitment in TJ's class of 2026. I guess in this case, it really wasn't like a highly touted recruiting battle. I mean, just kind of looking at the guys that Jackson had on his 24/7 Sports: Cal State, Bakersfield, Hawaii, Hofstra, Louisiana, Murray State, New Mexico, Northwestern, San Francisco, St. Mary's. So Wake Forest is on there. That's not too bad. So I guess not the highly touted guy, but it is nice to see them get a big man, 6'8", 230 pounds, start to develop him. But yeah, he's the third guy in Iowa State's 2026 class, coming after Kristen Wiggins and Yusef Gray Jr.
Yes, I was gonna say, if you're looking at it, who are the other two guys?
Yeah, so I think right now Wiggins is probably the crown jewel of that class, but we'll kind of see how that plays out. But yeah, that's a big one for TJ Otzelberger. It's nice to see that. I don't know if you had any other thoughts on that.
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts on it. JT, my big question for you is, you and I have obviously played March Madness way back in the day, on the PS2, the Xbox. We know kind of how recruiting works for basketball year in, year out. You're also a college football buff as well. I guess the question I have for you is, are you kind of spotting a pattern for how TJ Otzelberger recruits for his teams based on team need and exact boost for a position? And when I say that, I mean, like, obviously, so the two freshmen this year are point guard and a shooting guard. Those are the two highest recruits. We clearly don't have a small forward that's coming in to join the team. We have a guy there. You're not bringing in a highly recruited power forward, because we got a guy that could potentially be an All-American in that position. Granted, the center is kind of hit and miss, but you brought in a high-level recruit from another Power 4 school to fill that fifth role, the fifth man on the offense. I guess the question I have for you is, are you observing the same recruiting pattern that I'm starting to see TJ come in with year in and year out with, all right, we're going to lose two guys from here. We're going to replace them with the two best guys we think we can get. I guess more or less, do you kind of see him running like a video game, kind of team put together deal anymore? He identifies his weaknesses, and then he tries to go out and build them up with the best available players and the best available skill sets that are out there.
Yeah, I would say he probably does try to stick to best available. I think you'll get yourself in trouble especially when you look at high school recruiting, if you pay too much attention to positions.
Yes.
Because obviously,
A la
it-
Omaha. A la
Yeah, 'cause-
Omaha.
because obviously, Jackson Kiss isn't gonna walk in and replace Joshua Jefferson or anything like that. So I don't
I
think
mean,
that
he could.
I don't think
He
that's gonna
could.
happen.
You
So
know.
I will say one thing. I think what one thing that TJ needs to improve on is that I still think he's having a tough time either finding the right guy or determining how he wants to use his 5 man, his big man. I don't feel like he's
Yes.
really found the right match for what he wants to do.
Yes.
Because obviously, just kind of going back as far as Oshuni, he was a highly touted recruit. I don't really think it ended up working out quite like he thought it would. We all loved Rob Jones, and honestly, he was probably the closest to what
Well,
TJ wanted.
and I don't mean to cut you off, but let's call Rob Jones for what he was. He was a flat tire put onto a vehicle that somehow had air in it after 6 weeks. And I don't get me wrong, I love Rob Jones. This is a Rob Jones Stan account as far as anyone that wants to talk about him, but he was never what you would have expected for a starting 4 or a starting 5 in like the Big 12. You drop him down to like a Missouri State. Rob Jones might put up 15 and 10 just because he has such a high motor. But as much as I love the guy, he Rob Jones, we love you. Please don't bomb our podcast. We love you.
Yeah, it just seems like that maybe TJ hasn't quite found what he's wanted. You see guys like JT Rock. What was he tried to go the project route, and that didn't really end up working out.
Yep,
with
you
Brock
convinced
transferring
him.
out.
You convinced JT Rock to reclassify.
And then he
he
tried to go the bigger, beefier route with Deshaun Jackson.
Yes,
and that just didn't end up working out
Yes.
recreationally. So you see this year he's going to try to go a little slimmer, a little quicker with guys like Buchanan and Plita and Mulder. So I just think that's the one thing that TJ seems to be tinkering with. I mean, I think truly what I'm sure he wants, and it's because it's probably what in this day of college basketball, what every college coach wants is that he wants that stretch 5, a guy that maybe could hit a 3-pointer. Because so often, I don't know about you, but I feel like so many times in TJ Otzelberger's offense.
I know where you're going.
Catch the
Go
ball
ahead.
at the top of the key.
Go ahead and finish
Catch
it.
the ball at the top of the key, and like, what's Rob Jones doing there at the top of the key, 5 feet behind the 3-point line? What's he gonna do with it? I think TJ wants to find a guy who can actually do something with the ball once he gets that. Now, and I don't know if he's found that answer because I don't think Buchanan can do that. Maybe Plita can. I don't know.
For what it's worth, I don't think he does either.
No, I don't think he can either. Maybe Plita can. I don't really know. But I guess that's just my overarching point on TJ Otzelberger's roster constructions. I still think he's trying to find the right answer at the 5 spot.
I had a really good point I thought I wanted to make. Oh, you know what it was? It was all the times that you found Jackson open at the top of the key last year. And
exactly.
Like you don't know what to do with the ball because he's not quick enough to get to the rim. But if you have him make a drive to the rim, he's also not quick enough to be able to make a decision to get the ball out somewhere. So then what you have is you have a driving force closing in on a guy that is not very quick, not necessarily athletic. Don't get me wrong. This is a Jackson love account. I have no ill will towards Jackson. He is the first iteration of the presidents with my namesake, Mr. Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
We're also lucky enough to get that. I really hope someone asked Otts at some point this year if things are going well, if the president's came in mind when he was looking for a second big.
Yeah.
Because that they're coming back with Jefferson Buchanan.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. You can't tell me Otts he's not tapped in to something like that. But that's for a question for another day. You kind of look at it like towards the end of the year when Heisey, if you give the ball to Heisey and it's 5-on-5 playing basketball, but if you gave the ball to Heisey in down a certain stretch of the year last year, it was 5-on-4, and you're basically a power play on defense if he touches the ball. And God forbid he touches the ball outside of the 3-point line, teams had no respect for him there for about 5 or 6 games when Momcilovic was down with his wrist injury. And he's going to be another guy that I think if he goes, I think the offense goes. And who knows if he puts up 20 points a game, who knows what this team could look like. But I think he is going to be a staple for what you do this year.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I think one of the guys that I guess just kind of my overall takeaways, both positively and negatively, that I'll kind of look at seeing how these guys are incorporated down the stretch is number one on the positive side is Dominic Nelson. I thought he was one of the few bright spots. He's coming off the bench right now. I don't know if he's going to stay there and be the Curtis Jones of this team, or at some point if he's going to surpass Nate Heisey and take over that role, because certainly he seems to have the talent to do so.
Great with a high motor.
Yeah, I think he was probably the best looking player of the 2 exhibition games. And then I would say on the negative side of things is that obviously Jamarian Bateman was pretty highly touted coming into this season.
Yeah.
I mean, you were starting to hear some rumblings that maybe he could be competing for a starting position, and he was really on a milk carton for those 2 exhibition games. So
yeah, well now
that kind of surprised me.
Now look who's in that starting spot that is getting all the highlights, and that's his freshman counterpart.
Yeah, Toure.
It sounds like Toure is going to be harder and harder and harder and harder to keep off the floor, just based off his production. And it's nothing against Bateman. I don't know why I said his name that aggressive. I feel like that sounded very name callish for me to say that. I just think Toure has. I don't know. He looks like he could potentially be what Lipsy was his freshman year, or like a Halliburton. Do you remember the days of when we were up in arms about Halliburton starting over Lindell Wigington? And then Halliburton had a triple-double in like his 5th game or something like that. And that shut all those conversations up. And then you're hoping that Wigington can come back, so then you can have potentially a Halliburton Wigington deal. And what a mess. What a mess.
I guess something that you just brought up is something I hadn't really thought about, and maybe it'll be our final point here. We got about 5 minutes left, and that's obviously of how good Toure looked backing up Lipsy.
Incredible.
And so I guess it's going to be interesting to see how Otzelberger is able to incorporate both of those guys once Lipsy's healthy. Now, obviously, I think kind of in these next few weeks there'll be enough minutes at the 1 because Lipsy's not going to be going full go. But once it's go time, I guess you kind of it'll be interesting to see if Otzelberger will put those 2 guys on the floor at the same time. I think it's something you're going to have to, kind of like you said. Maybe it's not your not your biggest lineup, kind of having two point guards out there, but
Right.
I think that's kind of interesting. That's an interesting dynamic that I kind of forgot about of what exactly is Toure going to do once Lipsy gets back into the fold. It'll be interesting to see how Otzelberger decides to play that.
Well, I guess the initial question comes from what is his actual position? Is he a bona fide shooting guard? Is he like a point guard that can play small forward, or is based on where he went to high school, is he a small forward that maybe plays like a small power forward?
What are you talking about?
Torre.
He's not going to play like power. What are you talking about?
Bateman, or both of them. I guess I'm talking about both of them because who's the natural point guard? Bateman's the natural point guard, right?
No. Torre's the point guard.
Torre is the natural point guard.
Torre's only 6'3", so yeah, I didn't know where the hell you were going there.
Yeah, but you know how high schools work out. Man, we don't have to get into the old Urbandale lineups way back in the day. Alan Lazard played power forward and center at 6'4", so I
think it's safe to say that neither Bateman or Torre will be playing much time at the power forward position.
Well,
I'm sorry, I had to stop you there.
If they're playing time at the power forward, then we might as well go ahead and wrap it up. And
I think it might be about time to land the plane, folks.
Yeah, we'll see you next year.
I'm losing my co-host over here.
You understand where I was going with that? Is where they?
No, I'm sorry, man. I didn't. I had absolutely no idea.
Where they played in high school. We saw Alan Lazard play the power forward at 6'3".
Sure.
So yeah. you kind of wonder where they have these guys, but looking at their body size and kind of Torre to me brings a different type of. We seen Keyshawn come downhill like Raging Bull for the last 2 years. Torre kind of brings you the same thing. Nelson almost kind of brings you the same thing, but I don't know about how you feel about it, but I feel like there's a different type of finesse this year. And granted, they've played nobody, and whatever we're talking about could mean nothing tomorrow. But just from what I've seen in the couple games, I don't know how you keep Torre off the floor. I really don't.
Yeah,
I can't say much for Bateman. But at the same time, you can't really. You would like a point guard that does everything, but I feel like you can't get mad at a point guard that doesn't make himself known in the stat columns, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's not turning the ball over. He's not fouling. He's not, he's not constantly getting in the way. To me, the point guard should be, someone that kind of puts the team in the right direction. As long as you're not fouling, you're not turning the ball over, you're not making stupid shots or taking stupid shots. Excuse me. And you're not putting your team in a bad position. Like that should be the ultimate job of like a freshman point guard, which is exactly what he is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like you said, I totally agree. It's going to be tough to keep Toure off the floor, and I think you're going to either need to find situations for Lipsy to play off ball, or obviously vice versa. Time for Toure to play.
What do you think that looks like?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would make more sense to keep Toure more off ball. I think he's a little better. I guess I'd have to get a little bit more familiar with Killian Toure. I would assume he's a little better shooter than Lipsy. Obviously, Lipsy's jump shot has come a long way, but I just don't know if Lipsy has the scoring prowess to be your two guard out there. And I could see some potential for Toure to do that. So, but I guess I need to be a little more familiar to see a couple more games out of Toure before I really make that determination. But that's just kind of my gut instinct.
Do you think Lipsy has too much tread on the tires at this point? It seems like
Maybe.
every year for the last 3 years. And Taman, you are an absolute legend for the Clones, but it's a reasonable question to ask. Injuries got to be piling up, bro. I mean, I'll wake up and tweak my ankle one morning, and I wonder if that's it. Like, I might have to cut my foot off. So, how do you keep coming back from these injuries and not really necessarily knowing what tomorrow brings for you and everything you've put into the university? Granted, he might love the Cyclones more than us combined, which I don't know if that's possible, but he grew up in Ames. He was a little Cyclone. Now he's a big Cyclone. Gotta hope. Shout out to his mom and dad. I hope they see that because they'll love that. But man, just where there's got to be a ceiling somewhere, right? And maybe we haven't reached it. Maybe we haven't reached it yet, but I don't know. Every time another injury happens, I become a little more concerned about our boy.
Yeah, and that's where obviously Otzelberger will have to do his best to manage it, and I think he will. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that Otzelberger will need to keep in check is kind of keeping him on a pitch count and not overdoing it. But we'll see.
Do you think he's going to do that? Do you think that seems reasonable?
I mean, in the first couple of weeks, I think he will. I don't know if he'll be able to help himself after that.
I'll agree with you on that. I was about to say there ain't no fucking way that Otzelberger ain't pulling his wad in March. Hey, listen, if you don't know nothing about the Iowa State Cyclone basketball program, just imagine your worst summer workout for whatever sport you played and put that at 5:30 in the morning and then times it by 10 and then go ahead and play 5 hours worth of scrimmage basketball on top of that. That is in a nutshell, the TJ Otzelberger summer basketball program. Who the hell would ever in their right mind signed up for that after I said that out loud? I've
seen the videos. It looks tough.
Sickos. They got dudes puking on in Iowa State fans tailgating lots. Those tailgating lots are for my puke, not for the basketball team's puke. Which, by the way, once again, let's before we close it out, I want to pull this back up. We will do something for y'all on Saturday. I don't know what it's gonna look like yet, or what anything could be, but JT and I will both be in Ames for the Arizona State kick. They're not doing no color outs this week, right? They're just hoping everyone shows up.
Not that I've heard. Yeah, they kind of they did the surprise blackout last week. But yes, I think that's a good way to put it. They're just hoping people show up. So,
do you think it's going to be sold out?
No.
You don't think it's going to be sold out?
I
all right, let me ask you this. This will be one of the last questions I ask you, and then we can get out of here. Do you think if they were to sell out a full season, this sounds stupid, even me asking this, do you think they would start a faux pas sellout streak like my brethren in the state that I live in with only one big school? I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm not going to say their name out loud because it's a faux pas. It doesn't exist. But do you ever see the Clones going to something like that?
No, I think Jamie Pollard is a man of integrity, and he would not stoop to such levels.
Well, and we obviously can't sell beer in the stadium because we're a bunch of slobs. But that's
Yeah, he's
okay
not wrong.
because you know what? This slob is gonna have a couple beers and a couple shooters in his pocket when he walks into the stadium on Saturday. So shout out
Yep,
Jamie. Shout out to
Yep.
Jamie.
True. All
All
right,
right,
buddy.
brother. Let
Let's
me
land this plane.
let me see what else I got on here real quick. We seen that. Oh, I want to leave with this. Just real quick. This is I seen this today. This is Draymond Green's Halloween costume.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, someone did a very poor editing job. Obviously, it's LeBron James, but we can get into the lore behind that in the future. I just figured that was the one thing that I had to be able to share to get a laugh today. So,
All right.
well,
Let's try one more time. Let's see if you can land the plane.
you want me to do it?
I would like you to land the plane. Yes.
All right. Well,
Because I think we forgot to say the name of the podcast at the top. So
oh yes. Well, if you didn't notice last week, I kind of switched it up a little bit because I got tired of this mouth list of material I gotta say. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Friday Night Live. However, we're coming to you on Thursday this week for a very special weekend. It's going to be doubled up for you. We got Iowa State, Arizona State this weekend. Me and JT will both be there. Don't be surprised if you catch some live post game reaction. The following week we have Iowa State, Mississippi in Sioux Falls. You should be surprised if you don't see any reaction or pre-reaction to that game. As always, this is Friday Night Live, brought to you by Hybrid Promotions. As always, our presenting sponsor on the Self-Made Sports Network, brought to you by Self-Made, the label music. You can find us on all platforms, anywhere. Me and JT both do our thing throughout the week on our own platforms. JT, do you want to go ahead and show yourself real quick, or do you want to go ahead and call it a night?
let's go ahead and call it a night.
All right. Well, check out my boy on JT No Show and SJ23 No Show. We will see you guys next week. Happy Halloween.